I could not have grown my virtual assistant business as quickly as I did, completely booked out within 6 weeks, if I hadn't gotten a solid process in place for holding discovery calls with potential clients. Emailing back and forth with a prospect might land you a client, but a discovery call allows you to set the foundation for connection and clear communication. It's a chance for you and the potential client to interview each other to make sure it's a good fit for everyone. In today's episode of the Support Squad podcast, I'm going to take you through the process that helped me rock every discovery call and land the dream clients that I'm still working for to this day.
You're listening to the Support Squad podcast, where virtual assistants come together to share their best business tools and tips. Virtual assistant for life coaches Sharon Nissen created the Support Squad with a firm belief in community over competition. Whether you're a new virtual assistant looking for advice on how to get started, or an established virtual assistant looking to expand your skills and invite even more abundance into your career, you're in the right place. Working from home doesn't have to be lonely. We're in this together. Now, here she is, the host of the Support Squad podcast, Sharon Nissen.
Hey, boss babe. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I can't believe how much this podcast is growing. Every week we're reaching more and more people, and it seriously warms my heart to see this community expand. I get messages from listeners every week telling me how grateful they are for all of this free content, and it means the world to me. I want to remind you that if this podcast has made a positive impact on you, even in some small way, the best way for you to support me is by sharing a review in iTunes. Here's one we got recently from Sunshine Cells titled Super Helpful. She says, "This is my kind of podcast. To the point, excellent practical advice about the virtual assistant business. After hearing each episode, I feel empowered and ready to follow the simple steps presented. Thank you so much for providing such an amazing resource." Thank you, Sunshine, for listening and supporting. All right, now into today's episode. So why discovery calls? Why can't we just email back and forth with someone until they hire us as a virtual assistant? Well, as you've heard me say many times, building a virtual assistant business is all about building relationships. Having a solid system for discovery calls sets the foundation from the very beginning. It shows your potential client that you are a business owner who takes her work seriously and that you are making a real effort to establish clear communication and an awesome working relationship from the very start. So I'm going to take you through an imaginary scenario so that you can see exactly how I manage my own discovery calls. Picture this. I've just met an amazing life coach on Instagram who says that she needs to hire a VA to help her with scheduling and managing her calendar, providing customer service to her clients, and scheduling her social media. We chat a little bit over DM about what her needs are, and it becomes clear that we might just be potential business BFFs. She asked about my rates and how it would all work, but before I go into all of that, I let her know that the easiest way for me to answer all of her questions would be for her to book a free discovery call. Now, I know that this boss babe is super busy and is looking for someone to make her schedule and her life a lot easier. So the last thing I want to do is complicate the situation with back and forth scheduling chat or to leave any room open for miscommunication. The best thing for me to do is send her a scheduling link through an app like Acuity or Calendly. Before I send her the link, I want to make sure that I'm totally set up in the back end of whichever scheduling app I'm using. I'll want to include a questionnaire so that I can be really clear on her needs and expectations before the call. So some questions I'll include are, where do you need the most support? What are your goals for your business? And how many hours per week do you think you need support? I'll also ask her some questions about her business, including her website and social media links, because I'll use those things to research and prepare for the call. She should also be able to see all of the available options for times. And I definitely want to double check that these are the most up-to-date times, because double booking is super embarrassing and you wouldn't want to go back after she's scheduled using your scheduling app and be like, well, actually that time's not available. So just make sure everything is updated before you send a link to a potential client. Now, to make things super seamless, I'm going to make sure that my scheduling app is connected to a video conferencing app like Zoom. Acuity and Calendly both integrate with Zoom and will automatically create a connection link and send it to your potential client when they book the calls. That means that there is no room for potential mix-ups about who calls who or where to meet. It will all be automated and added to the calendar event. So fabulous and easy. I'll also make sure that I've set up a reminder email to go out 24 hours before the call with the Zoom link. And you can automate this step in most scheduling apps. That way, when it's time for us to hop on the call, my client won't have to search through days of emails to find the link, because she'll have that reminder 24 hours before. All right, so now that I've set all of that up in the background and my link is ready to go, I'm going to send it off to my potential client. And she's going to choose her time, which we'll say is 3 days from now. And this gives me 3 days to get super prepared for our call. Before I talk to her, I'm going to take some time to research her business. I'll read through every page of her website. And since she needs social media help, I'll definitely look over all of her social media accounts in detail. I don't want to hop on the call and be like, so what do you do? Or like, what's the deal with your social media? I want to make it very clear that I've put the time to look into her business and to learn more about her. So then on the day of the discovery call, I'm going to be prepared with an outline to follow. So I'll type it up in a Google Doc and just have it in front of me when I get on Zoom. And that way I can stay totally in control of the conversation. When we hop on Zoom, I'm going to immediately establish myself as an expert, because I'll be leading her through the call with tons of confidence. And that comes from having that outline and doing that preparation. Now, when we get on the call, the structure is going to look something like this. I'll open with a summary of the answers she gave on her questionnaire. So I'll say, oh, I can see that you need support with A, B, and C so that you can achieve your goals of X, Y, Z. Is that right? Or do you want to expand on that? Then I'll ask a few questions to get to the bottom of how I can really help. So I'll say things like, what is keeping you from accomplishing your goals right now? Or what are some things that you want to do in your business that you haven't done yet because you don't know how? What systems do you have in place already? Or what are 3 tasks you would love to never have to do again? The reason I love these questions is because it's putting in her mind like, oh my gosh, all of these things that I don't know how to do or don't want to do or that are keeping me from reaching my goals, I really can have someone help me with that. And through these questions, I'm showing her the potential and painting that picture. So I'm going to make sure as my client is answering these questions that I'm really listening, and I'll take detailed notes because I'll need them later to follow up and to create a plan. After I've gotten a good feel for my potential client's pain points and goals, it's time to paint the picture of exactly how I can help them. Since before I got on the call, I already had a general idea of the help that they need based on the questionnaire they filled out when they scheduled, I'll come to the call prepared with a list of the ways I can help her and the systems that I can put in place. So I'll say something like, thank you so much for sharing all of this with me. Now I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you how I can help. Does that sound good? And then I'll just let her sit back and listen to my magic. And this is the time that I'm going to explain my onboarding process, my rates, my schedule, my routine, and most importantly, exactly what I'm going to do to help my potential client achieve her goals. This part is so important. This is where I'm establishing clear boundaries right from the start. I'm claiming my worth by stating my rates, and I'm showing that I am totally in control of my business. I'm going to resist the urge to justify or defend my rates, and I'm not going to settle for less than I deserve. After I've spelled it all out for her, I'll ask a very powerful question. Now, my mom has worked in HR for her entire 35-year career, and she taught me to always end every interview with this question. Ready? Here it is. Is there anything that would prevent you from working with me? I'll take a deep breath and I'll listen to any objections that my potential client might have. Then I'll answer all of her questions and respond to all of her doubts and make sure to ask if there's anything else I can clarify for her. So at this point, my potential client is going to be totally blown away by my professionalism and my confidence. She's going to say, I'm in. What's next? And that's the point in time where I'll explain the call to action, signing the contract. I'll let her know that I'll draw up a contract with all of the details and send it over within 24 hours. This puts a clear end to the call and gets rid of any lingering questions. It again shows that I am totally in control and I have a clear process in place. After I get off the call with the potential client, I'll shake my nerves out a little bit, and then I'll finish up her contract and send it over through a website called HelloSign. And I'll also send a follow-up email where I'm going to thank her for her time and outline a few of the specific things we talked about in the call. It's not a bad idea for me to include a deadline for signing the contract here. So I can say something like, I'm happy to hold your spot for 72 hours so that you can review the contract. Please let me know if there's anything I can clarify. This, kind of pushes her to make a decision so there's no lingering things in the air. And of course, she's going to sign it right away because I have given her so much confidence in my abilities, and she's going to be so eager to get started so I can help her turn her business around. Woohoo! And just like that, I've landed a new dream client. And you can do it too. The most important thing to convey in these discovery calls is confidence. And the more time you spend preparing, the more confident you will be. So do the research, write the outline, over-prepare, get your onboarding system perfectly in place. Be ready to handle objections about your rates. Stand firm. You've got this. If you have questions about leading the perfect discovery call, feel free to ask in the Support Squad Hangout on Facebook. I love hearing from you and answering your questions. So I'll see you in there. And until next time, Boss Babe.